back at looking at this sod cutter that worked kind of, but not good enough. I'm going to iron out the kinks, and pretty sure today we're going to make something that actually works. Let's play around with it. So it was virtually impossible for me to see what it was doing while I was on the tractor. Not until I was watching the video later did I see what it was doing, and it was clogging up this entire area on there. A lot of guys, the number one comment was to sharpen these sides, and they were sharp. They are razor sharp. So these sides I did sharpen at the beginning when I first did. I just did this entire thing. So everything in there is just razor sharp. I sharpened it on both sides, but I was pulling this way. The issue is the grass was just jamming up in this entire area, top, bottom, side, side, and just wedging in there. So I need to take away this ceiling. Can't really take away your sides. You need to cut your sides. The easiest to do is just take away your ceiling. So if I don't have a ceiling, then nothing to get jammed. So my skids being inboard is a problem. I either need my skids outboard with no ceiling, or I think I'm going to go with a roller method. The idea behind this is I just wanted to make the quickest, easiest thing. You know, you just bolt it to. You can just use the tractor to cut a piece, drive forward, never even have to get out of your seat, never have to move anything, never have to adjust anything. Just use your controls. Didn't work out. Let's rework the entire thing. And we're going to start off with rollers. So this is actually the center out of a water heater, a gas water heater. The flame goes up here and heats the water around it. There's your problem. Those are pretty deep itself. This, I think, was only like a 6-year-old water heater. So I'm going to reutilize this blade. We're going to have a roller over here, a roller over here, and a frame. And so I have, this is just an old piece of angle iron bed rail. And so we'll just cut this up. I don't know what the distance, it doesn't really matter. And so that looks about right. Looks about like 18 inches. Maybe a little bit more. 18 inches right there. Looks good. And I don't know where this wheel is going to sit yet. I may have to extend a bracket down or drill holes. I don't know. But I mentioned this is bed rail, so it's high carbon, so it doesn't weld the best, but it'll work. Space this back here. So to turn these into rollers, wheels, we need something to drill a hole in. So I just cut out some chunks of 1/8 inch steel. And we'll just set that over the top and just weld it in. We should just, I'm just going to put it there. I'm just going to weld the head of the bolt on each side. And then you can just cut off the head of the bolt if I ever want to take it apart. But I think that'll work just fine. And it'll wear out eventually. It's not like it's going a million miles. I think I might just even weld the blade in. I don't see much point in adjusting it over and over. I guess you can. Had to weld some extensions, and if you missed the first one, this is a lawnmower blade I flattened out and sharpened and then bent up, and these are just little extensions I now have welded on because I need it to be pretty deep. I actually wanted to cut down 2.5 inches. Seems a little far. But that's when I want to go because I don't want to sever the roots as much. I'm not in a sod farm where I'm trying to save soil. And so it'll come in, get cut, have plenty of room to bend over this, and then this will hold it back down on the back so it's not pulling it. That's kind of my thought. And so over, and then you'll just be able to roll it up. I'm going to make this just pullable so you can pull it from any four-wheeler, tractor, whatever you have, your car. And so I actually need a weight tray. I think it needs a couple 100 pounds of weight. So I'm just going to build another frame above it with this piece of angle iron and just build a little tray to put cinder blocks or old car batteries or something so we can get, I don't know, 200 pounds in there, something like that. So there we go. The top platform for all the weight is added but I need something to pull it from. I found this in the scrap bin. It's actually, there's 2 halves to it. This is what wraps around a tie down, like a 2-inch wide commercial tie down. So just drilled a hole, well, plasma cut a rough hole. We'll just weld that there. We should be able to hook the hook around this or something. Turns out Shamrock Green is essentially the exact same color as John Deere Green. Hey, now it's a tractor implement. Greased up the things. You save all your super old grease, and it becomes super thick. So I have this just mixture of grease. It's way, I mean, you can't buy grease this thick. And then I just greased in there and there. And now, beautiful. Both of them spin nice. Almost ready to give her a whirl. Okay, played around with it for a minute. Just in dirt, not grass. And I got it to bury. What we go there? About 4 feet, 4.5 feet. I was just trying to see if I could start it out on surface. It would go down, but it takes a while because it slowly kind of works its way down. But I never got it to go all the way down yet. Probably need another foot or two. So I may have to pre-dig the hole. And instead of using weight, I was just using actually the blade to push some down pressure on it, but I think some weight on it as well because the blade is allowing it to kind of rock, not centered. I just got it chained up to there, but theoretically you could pull it behind absolutely anything, a 4-wheeler, as long as you just loaded enough weight on there, and that's kind of how I wanted to design it. But looks like it's digging in good. Let's go try it out on real grass. So I just dug a quick little hole and we pulled out the plug, and so we'll just set this in there so now it doesn't have to work its way down to the depth. Guess there's a little bit of a hiccup where that back wheel goes over that hole, but that shouldn't really matter. It's quick. And as far as keeping a straight line, I guess it's just as matter as straight as I pull the tractor. Pulled up a little bit on the back. The back's actually not really riding, so maybe I can shorten a link in the chain and push the blade towards the back. Easy enough. But let's see if it rolls up like SOD. Beautiful. Now all I can think about is having a Swiss roll. There. And then you could just, I was hoping I didn't have to use all these weights, so you didn't have to move them around. My old design with the front end loader made it easier because it would pick up everything. You'd pick up the actual attachment and you just drive it somewhere else. This is a little bit more manual reset. But see if the blade's still straight. Still got paint on it. So the first issue arose with just the tractor itself. Wasn't paying attention, and the front tire, the tires actually ride up on the old grass, on this grass, just a little bit. And so they fell off, the front tire did. So I started steering over that way. I tried to correct, and even though I had corrected, the thing started wandering, and it took me a while to correct it all the way. So I mean, I still cut up good sod, and that little strip in the middle is easy enough to just chisel up with a shovel or just bring that thing back. It's wide enough you can just bring that thing over the top and bring it up, but to lay it somewhere else is kind of weird. So now I got a crooked line. I guess I could chain it to the back of the plow over there, side to side, so that it wouldn't move back and forth. Or, you know, this is probably where the bucket would come in better, because I control, you know, bolting it directly to the front end loader. But I'm not worried about that. That's kind of just trial and error, operator error, I guess. Okay, I need to actually pull out against the fence, and pulling from the center of the tractor doesn't work, so I decided to remount it like my first one to the bucket. I think it should work out good this time. It's got a couple bolts into the frame. I should be able to put all the weight, and the little bit of slop in the bucket should be taken up just by the 2 rollers. So we'll try to do a strip right next to the fence. Biggest problem is I can't steer once I start going, because all the weight's on the bucket and nothing's on the actual tires. So I got to make sure you're perfectly straight. Looks like sod to me. Don't you ever get tired of this? There we go. Never get tired.